If I could only buy 3 ETFs for the rest of my life, what would I choose? Not 10 ETFs, not a new fund every time the market changes, not a portfolio built around whatever's trending this year, just 3 ETFs. That sounds simple, but it forces a very important question. What actually deserves a permanent place in a long-term portfolio? For me, the answer would not be the most exciting ETFs. It would not be the flashiest ETFs, and it would not be the funds that need a perfect prediction to work. I would want 3 things: US growth, global diversification, and stability. A portfolio like this will not impress people looking for hype, but that is the point. The best lifelong ETF portfolio is not the most exciting one. It is the one you can actually hold. So let's start with the rules I would use before choosing the 3 ETFs.
Before picking the ETFs, we need rules, because if the portfolio is supposed to last for life, the standards have to be higher. First, the ETF needs to be low cost. Fees matter because they quietly reduce long-term compounding. Second, it needs broad diversification. If I only get 3 slots, I do not want each slot wasted on a narrow theme. Third, it needs to be simple. A lifelong portfolio should be easy to understand, easy to rebalance, and easy to stick with. Fourth, it needs liquidity and a clear long-term strategy. And most importantly, each ETF needs a clear job. That means I would exclude thematic ETFs, leveraged ETFs, hype ETFs, overly concentrated ETFs, and income ETFs that create complexity without solving the main problem. A lifelong ETF should not depend on guessing the next perfect trend. If an ETF needs a perfect prediction to work, it does not belong in a lifelong portfolio. With those rules in place, the structure becomes much clearer.
The 3 ETF structure is simple. 1 ETF for US stocks, 1 ETF for international stocks, and 1 ETF for bonds. That may sound boring, but each part has a specific job. US stocks are the growth engine. International stocks add global diversification, and bonds add stability, income, and a tool for rebalancing. This structure does not try to predict the best sector. It does not try to predict the best country, and it does not depend on timing the next interest rate cycle perfectly. It accepts a basic truth. Nobody knows the future. So instead of trying to guess the winner every year, the portfolio owns the main building blocks: growth, diversification, and defense. 3 ETFs can work when each one has a job. So let's start with the first job: US growth.
ETF number 1 would be VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. This would be the US growth engine of the portfolio. VTI gives exposure to the total US stock market. That means large cap stocks, mid cap stocks, and small cap stocks. Instead of trying to pick the next winning company or sector, VTI gives broad exposure to American businesses. It is simple, it is low cost, and it is built for long-term buy and hold investing. The expense ratio is 0.03%. That is extremely low, which matters when you are thinking in decades instead of months. The reason VTI earns a spot is not because it will win every year. It will not. The reason it earns a spot is because it gives broad US market exposure in one clean ETF. VTI is the US growth engine of the portfolio. But many people would ask a fair question here. Why not just use VOO? VOO is an excellent ETF. It tracks the S&P 500. It gives exposure to many of the largest and most important US companies. And for many investors, VOO can absolutely be a great core holding. But if I could only choose one US stock ETF for the rest of my life, I would choose VTI. Why? Because VTI gives broader US market exposure. VOO focuses on large cap companies in the S&P 500. VTI includes large caps, mid caps, and small caps. Now, to be clear, VOO and VTI are often more similar than people think, because both are heavily driven by large US companies. But VTI gives me the entire US market in one fund. That matters when I only have 3 ETF slots. VOO is great, but if I can only choose one US stock ETF for life, I want the whole US market. Now that the US side is covered, the next question is whether I would stay only in America. And the answer is no.
ETF number 2 would be VUSS, the Vanguard Total International Stock ETF. This is the global diversification piece of the portfolio. VUSS gives exposure to stocks outside the United States, including developed markets and emerging markets. The expense ratio is 0.05%. The reason VUSS is here is not because international stocks always outperform. They do not. In fact, there can be long periods where international stocks disappoint compared with the US market. But the point of international diversification is not to know exactly when it will work. The point is to avoid betting your entire stock allocation on one country forever. The United States has been an incredible market, but nobody knows whether it will always be the top performer over every future decade. VUSS is not there because international always wins. It is there because nobody knows who wins forever. And that leads to the reason many investors avoid this ETF completely.
Many U.S. investors ignore international stocks, and honestly, it is easy to understand why. U.S. stocks have dominated for long periods. American companies are familiar. The U.S. market feels safer because investors know the brands, the economy, and the headlines. That is called home bias, and when international stocks underperform for years, it becomes even harder to stay patient. But ignoring international stocks is still a decision. It is a bet that the U.S. will always be the best market. Maybe that happens, maybe it does not. The problem is that we do not know in advance. International diversification is not about predicting that foreign stocks will suddenly dominate. It's about admitting that future leadership can change. It's about reducing dependence on one country, one market, and one valuation environment. Ignoring international stocks is a bet that the U.S. will always be the best market. So VTI gives us U.S. growth. VXUS gives us global diversification. But a portfolio with only stocks can still be very volatile. That's where the third ETF comes in.
ETF number 3 would be BND, the Vanguard Total Bond Market ETF. This is the stability piece of the portfolio. BND gives exposure to the U.S. investment-grade bond market. Its expense ratio is 0.03%. The 30-day SEC yield was 4.38% in the official data I checked, and the average duration was 5.7 years. But the most important thing is the role. BND is not supposed to be the exciting part of the portfolio. It is not there to beat stocks over long periods. It is not there to create hype. It is there to reduce volatility, provide income, and give the investor a rebalancing tool. When stocks fall, bonds may help stabilize the portfolio. Not always perfectly. Bonds can lose money too, especially when interest rates rise. But compared with an all-stock portfolio, bonds can make the ride more survivable. BND is not there to be exciting. It is there to keep the portfolio survivable. Now, this raises another fair question. Why not use more exciting ETFs instead? There are many good ETFs that I would still leave out of this 3-fund lifetime portfolio. QQQ is a good example. It can be a strong ETF for investors who want a growth and tech tilt, but it is more concentrated. And if I only have 3 slots, I do not want one of them dominated by a narrower growth bet. SCHD is another popular ETF. It can be useful for dividend-focused investors, but it is not a total market replacement. It tilts toward a specific dividend strategy. And a Bitcoin ETF may make sense for some investors who want crypto exposure. But Bitcoin is extremely volatile, produces no cash flow, and does not replace stocks or bonds in a basic lifetime portfolio. The key point is this: good does not always mean essential. A good ETF can still be the wrong ETF for a 3-fund lifetime portfolio. With only 3 slots, ETTF needs to serve the whole portfolio. And that is exactly why VTI, VXUS, and BND fit together. The power of this portfolio is not in one ETF by itself. The power is in how the 3 jobs work together. VTI gives U.S. stock market growth. VXUS gives international stock diversification. BND gives stability, income, and a bond allocation. Together, the portfolio covers U.S. stocks, international stocks, and bonds.
It balances growth and defense. It reduces the need to guess which country, sector, or theme will win next. And it makes rebalancing simple. If stocks run up and bonds become too small, you can rebalance. If stocks fall and bonds become a larger percentage, you can rebalance the other way. This does not make the portfolio risk-free. Nothing does. But it makes the strategy easier to understand and easier to maintain. The power is not in any single ETF. The power is in how the three jobs work together. And after understanding the three funds, the next question becomes allocation. But before that, a quick pause. This is the kind of ETF strategy we focus on at Boring Money Wins. Simple investing. No hype. No pretending that a portfolio needs 20 different ETFs to be serious. The goal is to understand what each fund actually does, why it belongs in the portfolio, and whether the strategy is something an investor can stick with for decades. If you like simple, no-hype ETF strategy, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and it tells YouTube to show more practical investing content to people who want long-term investing without the noise. Now let's talk about allocation. Because the same three ETFs can create very different portfolios depending on how much you put in each one. The ETFs can be the same, but the allocation should not be the same for everyone. A younger or more aggressive investor might hold a higher stock allocation. For example, 80% stocks and 20% bonds. That means more VTI and VXUS and less BND. A moderate investor might use something closer to 60% stocks and 40% bonds. That gives a balance between growth and stability. A more conservative investor might use 40% stocks and 60% bonds. That can reduce volatility, but it may also reduce long-term growth potential. The point is not that these examples are perfect. They are just examples. Your allocation depends on age, risk tolerance, income, goals, time horizon, and how you react when markets fall. The three ETFs give the building blocks, but the allocation creates the actual portfolio. The ETFs can be the same. The allocation should not be the same for everyone. And no matter which allocation you choose, there are still risks. This portfolio is simple, but it is not risk-free. The first risk is U.S. stock market drawdowns. VTI can fall hard when the U.S. market falls. The second risk is international underperformance. VXUS can go through long periods where it lags the U.S. market. The third risk is bond risk. BND can lose money when interest rates rise. Bonds are not magic. They are stabilizers, not guarantees. But the biggest risk may not be any of those. The biggest risk may be investor behavior. Impatience, constant changes, over-tinkering, abandoning the plan after a bad year, adding a new ETF every time YouTube gets excited about something else. Simple does not always mean easy. The biggest risk is not that the portfolio is simple. The biggest risk is that the investor cannot leave it alone. And that is why we also need to be honest about who this portfolio may not fit. A simple 3 ETF portfolio can be powerful, but it is not universal. It may not fit someone who wants to pick individual stocks. It may not fit someone who wants high immediate income. It may not fit someone who wants heavy tech concentration. It may not fit someone who wants a dedicated crypto allocation. It may not fit someone with complex tax planning needs. And it may not fit someone who needs a highly customized strategy. That does not make the portfolio bad. It just means every portfolio needs to fit the investor. Simple is not the same as perfect, and simple is not the same as personalized. The strength of VTI, VXUS, and BND is that they give broad coverage with low complexity, but the investor still has to choose the right allocation, account location, and behavior. A simple portfolio can be powerful, but it still has to fit the investor. Now let's finish with the final verdict. So if I could only buy 3 ETFs for the rest of my life, these would be them. VTI for US growth, VXUS for global diversification, and BND for stability and bonds. This portfolio is not perfect. It is not the most exciting. It will not win every year, and it will not satisfy investors who want to chase every new trend. but that is why it works as a lifelong framework. Each ETF has a clear job. VTI owns the US market. VXUS owns the world outside the US. BND adds bonds and stability. Together, they create a simple, diversified, low-cost portfolio that an investor can actually understand and maintain. If I could only buy 3 ETFs for the rest of my life, I would choose the ones with the clearest jobs, because boring money usually wins because boring money usually survives.